So on this demo, we're going to go slightly larger, so half sheet, 22 inches by 15 inches, and stick around. I'll show you how I draw those or paint those twitty little branches. And I'm actually going to wet the paper to start with, which I very rarely do for my demos because I don't think it's the best way for beginners because, well, I'll explain in the video anyway. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get on with it. And let's say you have to allow for it because whatever you put on here will be watered down, which I don't think for a beginner, wetting the paper first is necessarily the best method, because until you have an understanding of watercolor and paper dampness to paint ratios and so on, it's going to be very tricky for you. That's just my thinking. So there's my sky. I'm actually going to use that sponge, because this is where the tree, I'm going to have a tree here, so maximum contrast of light and dark, so pull that through. But by using the sponge, it will encourage, well, it'll just make sure the paper doesn't get damaged. There we go. I think I could go a little bit darker in blue, because that's what I mean, you know, the paper was wet already. Whatever I put on there is going to be diluted, so I'll allow for that. Already it's starting to dry. The paper's wet, we can mess about a little bit. And I'll have a path that leads us into the scene, so that's going to perhaps be about there. A little bit too dark, that is. Just wash it off. I haven't used this large palette for a while, so there's a little bit of paint that's dried up a little bit, so it's, and the Zion Crimson being a staining colour, not ideal. It's definitely trickier to paint larger scenes than smaller scenes, so if you are a beginner, just bear that in mind, that if you're finding it harder to do a bigger painting, it's probably because they are harder to paint. Doesn't mean you shouldn't have a go. And the harder, I suppose, because you've got to work that much faster. I think certainly having an idea of to be able to see the painting and work it backwards as well. So that's kind of all the lighter values in the scene. So now I'll need to let that dry and put the next values on. So we're back onto dry paper. I can cover these little marks here where there was a bit of Zion Crimson on my brush. You cover them with a branch or something. So I used the Skoda Ultima size 18 to start with, and now switch to the Skoda Versatile size 10 for a bit more control. So my horizon is about there. Give it a little spray. I could have done that wet into wet, but because the whole paper was dry, sorry, the whole paper was wet, it would just melted down as well. Which is why my preferred method is not to be painting on paper that's wet all over, because you have more control. So hence, if you're a beginner, I find wetting the paper a very tricky way of painting. Maybe even just splash a bit of water on there. So this is the light catching those branches. I know you'd love me to call out the colours as I'm doing this and so on, but it wouldn't help you because there's just so many different mixtures of colours going in here. It's a dark brown that steers towards red is what I'm using here. That's all you need to worry about, and do the same. Plenty of sky holes through, keep that light. And the tree comes down to here. I do like painting trees, but I just really struggle to get the looking tree shape. Doing my best. So that tree comes down to about there. The hedgerow through here. I just look to see where does that come down to about there. Something like that. And then it needs to be much darker. Got some red and ultramarine blue. So So we're on dry paper, so we're going to get a nice crisp edge, and we're going to get the darkest dark against the lightest light. Colours melt into each other. Go straight into the green in a moment. All that dries. Put some branches in with this Pro Art 9A medium. Good brush for doing that sort of stuff. So I'll leave a little bit of a gap there for some of the lighter green, and there. Again, all still wet into wet.
So hopefully you're enjoying this video. Please do hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out the links in the description if you want to join me on memberships to take your watercolours to the next level.
Don't judge your painting yet. Wait till it's all done. We've got light coming across here. Different shape. While we're waiting for that to dry, let's just maybe scratch out a inch or two. It started to dry a little bit off here, so we can put some trees off in the distance using the Rosemary and Co brush now, the Sable Blend. So I'm creating a bit of a little hole there for the viewer to look through. Just a hedgerow here because we just need to put something along here to stop the eye wandering off. Just keep the focus in here. All I want there to act as a bit of a stop. Keep the viewer's eye in the painting. If we don't cover up that distant tail. Got just a little bit too much in the way of not a lot going on in the sky, so let's just have another tree that's out of view. Again, directing the viewer's eye where we want it to go. Connection through there. It's fine. I think I'll put the fence posts in there, so I need to dry that off a little bit, I think. Just give that a little spray. Droplets of water on it. So, fence post. Got a bit of a highlight there, so we could have one there. So they're going to get slightly bigger. Not necessarily all going off at the same angle. That one there, it's a bit straighter. We're on dry paper, so we could do a little bit of dry brushing, just to maybe put a bit of a directional line along the edge there. Maybe just suggest a bit of texture in there, and it will darken it slightly as well. We've got to be just so careful that we don't lose the freshness by trying to add it in detail that isn't necessary. Lose that light. Scrubbing paint on there. A bit more of those shadows. We've covered up that mark that was there, the red one. We've got that red mark there from that paint, but a little spot there to pop a bird in. Maybe one in there. There you go, working on a larger scale. I'm using a bigger palette, bigger brushes, and working a little bit bolder. I think that the videos I make doing large paintings tend to do quite well on YouTube. I think that's possibly because I am painting quite freely and a little bit more bravado maybe, and that perhaps shows through. And painting large does force you to do that, but I think if you're a beginner, I would say stick to painting small and build the confidence to then take that confidence to a larger painting. But you know, give it a try and see how you get on. You know, we're all different, but I had more success with the smaller paintings when I was learning watercolors, and then as my confidence grew, I was able to paint larger scenes. And I took the tape off on this one, and then I just think I needed to just added a little bit of texture in the foreground on that track. It was a bit too smooth, that I wanted it to have a gravel kind of look to it, so that's what I did there. So hopefully you enjoyed it. See you on the next video.
There you go. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Please do hit the like and subscribe. Check out the links in the description and watch this video next if you enjoyed this one, because you're going to love this one.